Hello, I will be reading this book called Vancy. Let's see, I don't know what it's called. It's $8. Let's get started. Page 1. I'll never forget the first time I saw Carl Isles, whatever, hotel in person. After my mom died, my dad wanted a fresh start. He kept saying he wanted to get out of the city and reconnect with the nature, with the place he and mom had met with me. If he could. We'd grown so distant since mom died. I knew he wanted to reconnect with me most of all. He talked about the town all the time, Gold River. He talked about it so much that even he talked about it so much that even though I never been there, I felt like I had lived there my whole life. Next page. Page 2. I listened to his stories. I felt the pull to Gold River was home. It was where I was meant to be, which is how I ended up halfway across the country in the tiny tourist trap of a town at the base of Crossback Mountain, one of the biggest, oldest ski resorts in the area. Golden River was sprawling, but quaint at the same time, perfectly made, but at the same time, perfectly made to invite and eager skiers. There were some ski repair shops whose names I knew from the multiple applications my dad had sent in there were cute diners and high-ended restaurants to warm up in after a day on these slopes. And if tourists wanted to rent a charler with Swiss lanterns and a steep roof, there were a few dozen to choose from. There was only one place they couldn't say: the Carlshill Hotel. The Carlshill was perched at the edge of town, surrounded by pine trees and backing up to some abandoned ski runs. Huge and ancient, the size of a city block, with wood-shuttered windows and uh, glided front doors. The type of hotels millionaires once flocked to in droves. The type of hotel that once promised luxuries, furnishing, and elegant diners and dramatic views from every front room. Page 3. But not anymore. I felt like my breath catch for the first time I passed it. It was beautiful, but also sad and empty. That's exactly how I felt then, sad and empty. Deep. I stayed away from the hotel at first. Moving in August meant I could start school like everyone else. I made friends and learned my way around the town before the holiday season kicked in. In those first few weeks, the hotel wasn't the only building that felt abandoned. Only for the Carlshill, the emptiness wasn't seasonal. Eventually, the mountains got their first dusting of snow, and all of the tourists flocked back to get back on the slopes. The Charles filled the shops, bustled or whatever. The castle stayed vacant. I don't know. I think it's vacant. Uh, it had been that way for almost 33 years. I should be honest though, that wasn't the first time I truly saw the hotel. I saw the Charleston in my dreams. That's scary, I guess. That's me. 3 years ago, on the night of my 10th birthday. Page 4. Page 5. Before my mom died, before the move to Gold River, I dreamed of walking up that edge-lined river leading to the front doors. I dreamed of wandering inside, through the lobby with its massive staircases, crimson carpets, golden chandeliers, and marble represent desks. Past oh, I don't know how to say that. Voluptuous or whatever. Past the meeting rooms and dining halls filled with ancient statues, Renaissance paintings, and round tables with crisp white lines and glittering crystals. Down a long dark hall, a hall so unlike everything else in the castle. Dark, narrow, flickering, forgotten. I remember the tug that led me forward. My destination, a plain white door. Page 5. At the end of a plain white hall, I remember what happened when I reached the door. I remember because I've had that dream or some form of it every night since. I always get to the door, but I never get past it. I touched my hand to the old doorknob. I start to turn it. I'm filled by fear, and then I wake up. But I know what waits behind the door. I know it in the darkness corner of my being. Death. All that waits in the Carson is death. Page 6. Chapter 1. You know what Saturday is, don't you? Rowan asks. Sounds familiar. My stomach twists with fear and excitement. Of course, we know, Mira says. Despite the crowded lunchroom, her voice is soft. She looks down at her tray while she says it, her dark cheeks flushing in embarrassment. You haven't stopped talking about it all month. Rowan grins at her discomfort. Mira's right. Rowan hasn't dropped the subject since the end of November. Now, a few days before winter break, it's I don't know how to say that. Protectually or whatever. All he can talk about, and I'm all he can talk about. That's all he can talk about. And I'm not going to stop talking about it now. Page 7. He says he pushes his glasses back up the bridge of his nose, his brown eyes gleaming with excitement. This is our one chance to finally be among the cool kids. No one has ever completed the dare. All we have to do is spend the one full night in the Carson, Carson or whatever hotel. That's it. If we do it, we'd be the most popular kids in Gold River, like ever. Mira sighs. This is the same thing he said every day since the word spread that the seventh grade dare would take place on this Saturday at 10. Everyone who wanted to be everyone who wanted to be anyone was expected to show up and test their bravery. I don't know, Mira mutters. I don't know, Mira mutters. Rowan turns to me. What about you, Jasmine? He asks. Can I count you in? I look to Mira. She and I have spent countless nights talking about the dare. The truth is, I don't really mind the idea of staying overnight in the Carsel Hotel. If I'm honest, I want to know why. I've always felt drawn there, but Maria is scared to death of it. Unlike me, she grew up here, which means she's grown up with all the scary stories associated with the hotel. Rumors that it never re re repented because a page 8 bunch of because a bunch of people had mysteriously died there, or that it's haunted or cursed, that it still craves human souls and will snatch up anyone brave or stupid enough to step foot in there. That's the whole point of the dare around here. Kids believe that if you stay in full night, you'll never be allowed to leave. Despite my dreams drawing me in, I'm still not sure. It could be dangerous. Maria or whatever thought it uh, is pretty in ever. There's no way to answer without upsetting either of my new friends, which is the last thing I want to do. I'll go if Maria goes, I reply. I hope it's the right thing to say, but it's clear from the glare she shoots. We're back. It's clear the glare she shoots me that it isn't Rowan. That it isn't. Rowan whoops with the glee. See, you can't chicken out now, Maria. Maria, if the new girl is willing to do it, you have to do it. Do you have to as well. She doesn't look at either of us, just stares at her tray of food. A second later, she flinches as something smacks the back of her head. I look over to see a fry drop to the floor. Page 9. She grumbles, but she ignores it. She always ignores it, and yet kids still pick on her. Maybe because she tries so hard to pretend the bullying doesn't exist. Rowan lowers his voice and leans in. Come on, Maria," he says. We need this. You know we do. If we do this, maybe they'll leave us alone, but I mean alone. I'm not staying. I believe if it will make us but it might make us safe. I don't want to keep dealing with this all through high school. You know, it will only get worse. Maria or whatever keeps staring at her tray. How do you know? She asks. Because everyone. No, no, she interrupts. How do you know we'll make it the entire night? Rowan reaches across the table and takes her hand. Because because the three of us are a team. We can do anything, he says. Huh, maybe. He says. He looks at me when he says it, and it makes my heart warm to know he thinks of me as a true friend. Or does he? Even though I've only been here a few months, I didn't have any friends like that back in Florida. Florida. Another fry flies past us, just barely missing my ear behind us. A table of kids erupts into laughter. Page 10 is where we leave off for next time. If you want to see part 2, get this to at least 10 likes.